What's up, everybody? It's the Roundtable Sports Podcast. Today, we're taking a look back at the top 25 plays for A.J. Brown in the 2020 season for the Tennessee Titans. You'll notice that there's a Tennessee Titan logo on A.J. Brown pre-snap, so that's how you want to focus in on A.J. Brown's routes. And when you're looking at AJ run these routes, one thing that you'll immediately notice is how much cushion that defensive backs give AJ Brown. Teams are rightfully scared to death of him taking them deep and breaking off their defenders in the midfield. So when he runs routes like that, he's really able to put defensive backs on their heels because they're afraid of him doing that and go over the top on them. A theme throughout AJ's video is just how good he is at the point of catch. Obviously, the run after catch is huge, and men of his size typically don't move that well. The 6'1", 225 that the Titans have him listed as doesn't really seem to do his bulk justice. When you see the close-up of him versus the size of other defensive backs, it's just not a good situation for those defensive backs to try and tackle him in open field, as you saw right there. If AJ truly does weigh 225, there must be 0% fat in there because he just is so built and so bulky. And it's just, like I said, it takes more than one guy in the secondary to bring him down. And when the number one weapon in the offense is truly the running game, having a receiver with this type of explosive ability means everything in the world because defenses will cheat up to try and stop Derrick Henry in the run, and then AJ will get over the top, or they will overguard AJ, and that'll mean that the run is able to get loose. So it's a pick your poison type situation for the other team, and that's obviously a situation that the Titans are trying to create for the defense. And as you watch him just tear up defensive backs and run through arm tackles, you see why teams are scared of him, and you see why he's going to either get more coverage this year, or he's going to have to get more targets with the loss of Corey Davis and Jonnu Smith. Now, I like Josh Reynolds just fine, but still, I don't think he's on the same level as Corey Davis was, and I think either teams will be able to devote more coverage to AJ, or he'll just continue to tear people up like he did this last season. And even in his rookie year, he jumped off the film with his size-speed combo that he brings to the NFL. It reminds me a lot of a little bit shorter and a little bit slower Terrell Owens. Even though he's slower and a little shorter, he's probably a lot stronger than T.O. was. So the size-speed combo still works clearly. And, of course, when you make plays like that, that doesn't hurt anything either. He's got big, strong hands, and you see a lot of hand catching with A.J. as well. So it makes all the difference when you're able to catch with your hands and able to move through the secondary like he's able to. Clearly, even with the departure of Arthur Smith, this team feels likely to remain run heavy. AJ still managed to rattle off 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns despite the lower volumes of this offense. He dominated the targets and is the first read in most of the passing plays, and it should remain that way in 2021 as well. It's just a question of, will there be anyone else that the other teams have to guard in the passing game besides A.J. Brown? That remains to be seen. Clearly, Derrick Henry is somebody that the defense has their eyes on in addition to A.J., but I just want him to be able to get loose and do things like that on a daily basis for the Tennessee Titans because it's fun to watch, and he is such a dynamic player with the ball in his hands that sometimes I wish he was in a more pass-happy scheme, but he truly is a Tennessee Titans type wide receiver, and he is one of the things that's going to make them go in 2021. I'm hoping he puts a full season down on tape and I get to watch him destroy defensive backs on a weekly basis because make no mistake about it, that's what he does. He's a man amongst boys.